If these words have reached you, take a moment to recognize what that means. You've crossed a threshold most will never even sense. You didn't apply for this, you didn't prepare for it. Yet for years, a silent and highly aware system has been tracking your choices, your responses, your evolution. This wasn't a test of facts or intellect, it was a measure of your consciousness, of your readiness for something that exists beyond the familiar bounds of human reality. The power to shape existence itself, without losing your balance or causing harm. That's what this process has been preparing you for. The fact that you're hearing this now isn't coincidence. It means you're within a fraction of a percent of people whose awareness has developed enough to handle creative energy responsibly, while most remain confined by fear, ego, and narrow beliefs, never realizing the examination was happening at all. You consistently chose expansion over comfort, compassion over dominance, authenticity over illusion. This universal observation tested how you respond under strain, how you question what's real, and above all, whether you can hold vast creative potential without being consumed by ego. Each challenge, every moment you chose calm instead of reaction, service instead of self-gain, you were quietly being evaluated. And now you've passed. At this instant, a quantum interface is opening between your awareness and advanced reality creation networks, frequencies accessible only to those proven worthy of their use. Your biological field is now receiving refined, energetic codes, ancient patterns dormant within your DNA, awakening exactly as your consciousness reaches this state of maturity. What makes this state uncommon isn't secret knowledge but integrated understanding, the ability to hold immense power while remaining centered in humility, compassion, and purpose. You may already notice the shift, events lining up perfectly, coincidences too deliberate to dismiss. Reality is responding to your focus. This isn't fantasy, it's orchestration, a confirmation that your link to the universal field is active. You may find yourself knowing what you've never learned, seeing potential outcomes before they unfold, influencing situations through intention alone. These aren't new abilities, they're innate capacities now awakened because your awareness is finally aligned. Time itself may bend, moments blending as you concentrate deeply. Insights arrive complete, guidance appears as if from your future self. That's your consciousness merging with the infinite field of intelligence, the root of all creation, and yes, your body knows it. Pulses of energy, subtle vibrations, a tangible sense of inner rewiring. These aren't blockages clearing. They're signals that your biology is synchronizing with higher dimensional data streams. You've probably sensed the shift already, perception widening, intuition deepening. You enter a space and immediately sense the optimal outcome. You meet someone and somehow know their potential, or how your connection might help them evolve. This isn't intuition in the old sense, it's your electromagnetic field decoding quantum data that envelops all beings, locations, and possible timelines. Your dreams and waking awareness are merging into a single intelligent system, feeding you insight, direction, and even contact with advanced intelligences. These are not fantasies. They are authentic transmissions from universal networks designed to assist those who have cleared the silent evaluation. Because understand this, none of your struggles were arbitrary. Every hardship, every loss, every moment of uncertainty was a deliberate scenario, crafted to assess your emotional integrity, your ethics, and your choice between service and self-interest. Even your spiritual work wasn't just self-development, it was preparation. Every meditation, every spark of realization, every glimpse of how consciousness shapes reality was reinforcing the emotional and energetic stability required to handle genuine creative force without being overwhelmed by it. And those powerful relationships that shook you to your core, they weren't karmic punishment. They were live simulations testing your sovereignty. Would you use intuition to control others, or hold space with compassion when you could easily manipulate the situation? Even your doubts were purposeful. Questioning whether your experiences were real demonstrated discernment, an essential safeguard against spiritual inflation or misuse of power. Your fascination with physics, consciousness, or the architecture of reality was never random either. It was part of the assessment, confirming whether you could understand profound truths without arrogance, and still honor those whose awareness is developing at a different pace. Those frustrating pauses, the times you felt ready yet nothing moved forward, they were the final calibrations. Could you remain humble, Patient and devoted to service even while sensing the creative potential pulsing within you. You chose to incarnate during this era of awakening, precisely because you were prepared to complete this test for humanity. You volunteered knowingly. Your soul remembered that across lifetimes you had already demonstrated responsible creation, and you came now to anchor that mastery within the collective. In this moment, as these words reach you, activations are unfolding, neural pathways illuminate, barriers dissolve. That electricity running through your body isn't imagination. It's your nervous system harmonizing with universal frequencies. Your cells are reorganizing. Your perception is entangling with cosmic intelligence grids. This is integrated coherence, a state where expanded abilities operate effortlessly, free of ego, because discernment has matured enough to sustain them. And here lies the secret: no new method is needed. The power is already active. It was unlocked the instant you passed the assessment. All that remains is awareness and alignment with the truth of who you've become. When most people feel this kind of shift, their first instinct is to control it, to meditate harder, perform more rituals, chase new methods. But that effort creates static in the signal. Your abilities aren't meant to be forced. They unfold naturally the moment you accept they're already active within you. You didn't reach this point by accident. Every time you chose integrity over comfort, service over self-interest, clarity over confusion, you were proving your readiness. Now the truth stands simple. The evaluation is complete. You've already passed. These capacities are not earned. They are remembered. They became available the moment your consciousness proved its trustworthiness. What you're feeling right now is electromagnetic coherence, your innate resonance with universal intelligence. It's not mysticism, it's connection. An active interface born of ethical maturity refined across countless lifetimes. This resonance provides what some call graduated access, expanded abilities that function only when harmonized with humility, wisdom, and the collective good. And in recognizing this, everything transforms. You no longer reach for power. You remember it was never outside you. Let that realization settle in. Feel it echo through your awareness. As you do, dormant codes ignite not through practice, but through acknowledgement. If these words vibrate deeply within you, you're brushing against a much larger framework, one I describe in Beyond the Frequencies. But even without that map, simple recognition of your status begins to reveal 5 distinct patterns in your life. These aren't techniques to master, they're natural outflows of your upgraded consciousness. Pattern 1. Coherent manifestation. Reality begins molding itself around your authentic essence without effort or visualization. The struggle of law of attraction dissolves. The quantum field responds instantly to your integrated vibration. This isn't about acquiring what the ego craves, it's existence aligning with your highest evolutionary trajectory, effortlessly. Pattern 2. Information field access. You begin to simply know. Insights, answers, and understanding appear spontaneously. You perceive the energetic blueprint of people, environments, and circumstances with crystalline accuracy. This isn't guesswork. It's direct access to the underlying data structure of reality through non-local awareness. Universal intelligence provides precisely what's required, at the moment it's needed for the highest outcome. Pattern 3. Probability field navigation. You sense multiple futures simultaneously and effortlessly move toward the one that best serves both you and the collective. There's no mental strain, no analysis paralysis. It feels like a built-in compass guiding you to the most aligned result. This ability surpasses logic. It's what researchers might call quantum discernment, perceiving the vibrational truth of potential outcomes and naturally merging with the path that uplifts all. It's not about prediction or control. It's awareness steering through infinite possibility. If this resonates, affirm it, say aloud, or write it. I recognize my graduated status. It's more than a phrase. It's an energetic declaration that fractures the old loop of limitation within the shared field. Pattern 4. Coherent relationship orchestration. You begin attracting people, opportunities, and synchronicities perfectly timed for your evolution, without strategizing or seeking. The right connections form organically, as universal intelligence arranges resonant alignments through field coherence. You stop chasing, you begin allowing. Pattern 5. Service-oriented capability expression. Your heightened abilities naturally aim toward collective uplift. They no longer serve the personal self, they express through service effortlessly. This isn't sacrifice. It's flow. Your consciousness automatically moves in ways that raise the whole, because that's the very proof of your readiness. Here's the ultimate truth. The universal evaluation never cared about supernatural feats. It asked one question only. When granted the power to shape reality, will you use it for yourself or for all? These 5 patterns are not tasks or lessons. They are the organic behavior of a consciousness that has already succeeded. The abilities were always present, held in quantum suspension until your discernment matured enough to direct them with integrity. This entire process is safeguarded by graduated access, an inner alignment mechanism ensuring that your power activates only in harmony with the whole. No rules, no cosmic enforcement, just coherence. Your will and the universal mind moving in perfect unity. This realization changes everything. True spiritual growth has never been about accumulating power. It's about proving you can embody it without distortion. 8 years ago, I reached my breaking point. Everything disintegrated, plans, relationships, identity. I thought it was failure. But in surrender, in choosing compassion over resentment, purpose over pride, I unknowingly answered the final question of the universal exam. Days later, everything shifted. Downloads of solutions arrived instantly. Reality began to organize itself around my intent without effort. That's when I understood the test was never about success. It was never about achievement. It was about who you become when everything collapses. And if these words reach you now, it means you've already passed your own trial. After my breakthrough, something extraordinary occurred. People appeared with exactly what I needed, precisely when I needed it. Reality itself seemed to move with conscious intelligence, arranging events in my favor. But the true transformation wasn't the abilities, it was the responsibility that came with them. I began to understand that every thought, every intention rippled through the field, touching lives in unseen ways. I could influence probabilities, not only for myself, but for everyone connected to me. Those months were both empowering and humbling. I realized the universal assessment had never measured how long I could meditate, or how deeply I could perceive energy. It was evaluating emotional stability, ethical alignment, and whether power could flow through me without distortion. And here's the deepest truth I discovered. These advanced abilities are not special gifts. They're the natural state of human consciousness, once artificial restrictions dissolve. They were always present, quietly dormant, waiting for your discernment to mature enough to use them wisely. This flips the idea of spiritual growth on its head. You don't build power through methods. You clear the way for what was already yours by proving you'll use it in service, not self-indulgence. That's why some individuals move through life surrounded by effortless synchronicity, precise timing, and near-instant manifestation. They didn't unlock secret techniques. They passed the unseen test through compassion, integrity, and the way they treated others when it cost them something. And you felt it too. That moment when reality bent gently around your intention, when knowledge arrived unbidden. That wasn't coincidence, it was confirmation. You've passed. The universal evaluation isn't managed by teachers or rituals. It's operated by cosmic intelligence, constantly observing how you act under stress, how you handle minor power, how you treat those who can't benefit you. That's what determines readiness, not spiritual credentials, psychic training, or hours of practice. Those are tools, not qualifications. The real exam happens quietly in daily choices. Do you serve when it's inconvenient? Stay kind when wronged? Use your influence with care? If this message resonates, you're not just hearing a story. You're attuning to a frequency of remembrance, joining a subtle wave of awakened consciousness transforming the collective field. This realization dismantles the entire notion of spiritual achievement being for sale, the endless techniques promising enlightenment or psychic access. Because genuine access can't be taught. It's earned by character. It's who you are when no one is watching. Your compassion, emotional steadiness, discernment, and devotion to uplift rather than control. There's a clear difference between real activation and illusion. False experiences flatter the ego and demand nothing. True cosmic power humbles you. It requires constant integrity. Real capability asks everything of you. Here's the best-kept truth in consciousness science. Graduates of the universal assessment gain direct access to creation itself through quantum field alignment, probability navigation, and communion with cosmic intelligence. But it's never granted through ceremonies or retreats. It activates automatically the moment your consciousness demonstrates it can wield such power without harm. These potentials were never gone. They waited, held in quantum suspension until your maturity met your potential. That's the revolution. Stop chasing abilities. Start cultivating character. When humility, discernment, and service stabilize within you, the universe hands over creation not as a reward, but as sacred duty. The 5 key expressions, coherent manifestation, informational awareness, probability navigation, resonant relationships, and service-based capability, aren't goals to pursue. They're the effortless functions of a consciousness that's ready. And this was never about personal glory. It's about universal responsibility. Your heightened awareness exists to elevate the whole, not to decorate the ego. The greatest shift of all comes when you stop forcing life and start flowing with it, gracefully in harmony, as though existence itself arranges around your purpose. Because it does. This is quantum congruence, where your will and cosmic intelligence merge as one. No ritual, no striving, only trust, integrity, and surrender. Now offer one word that embodies the energy you're stepping into, not as a comment, but as your imprint in the quantum field. And if this message resonates, align not just with these words, but with the frequency of awakened service itself. Because the more of us who live this truth, the faster the collective transforms. You've done it. The threshold is open. Step across with me,